And our conversation with our friends from the Indiana County Technology Center, ICTC, is brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And Kelly Fox is on the line with us. You've got a couple of instructors with you as well as we talk about Manufacturing Month. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Thanks for having us this morning. I am joined this morning by our machining technology instructor, Mr. Michael Rescenete, and also our welding instructor, Mr. Lou Toth. So we have our own engineering manufacturing cluster here represented 100%, so we're real proud about that this morning.
Absolutely. And you also have news about a recognition for nursing, right?
Exactly. We'll have to dip into the adult ed world as well and give Dr. Diana Rupert and her crew down in our licensed practical nursing program credit because they ranked second in the Northeast for the year 2020, the year of COVID, right?
Yeah.
The year 2020, they were ranked second out of 532 LPN programs across the region. And so there's a nice little symbol. I wish you could see it at the bottom of the message that we received, but they are the best LPN programs in the nation.
Yeah.
So very, very proud of our practical nursing program. It's always filled with students, and those students have a high percentage of placement rate when they finish the program as well. So they're doing some really great things, and that program continues to grow. We have our on-site location here at the ICTC. We have another location at Steele Center. And then up and coming, we'll be opening another practical nursing program in the Clarion area. So Dr. Rupert and her crew are no doubt very busy and deserve this recognition very much. So we're very proud of them.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk a little bit of manufacturing. And I'll ask you to reintroduce each of the instructors as we speak with them. Let's start with machining.
Okay, so we have Mr. Rescenete here for machining, and he's going to be talking a little bit about what he did with his students, along with the welding students, with one of our local manufacturers to promote October being Manufacturing Month.
Mm-hmm. Good morning.
Good morning. And
how are things there? Good?
So far, yeah, we haven't had any need for machinists here this morning so far, but one never knows. Machinists are in need everywhere, aren't they?
We're ready to go from ICTC. I wanted to share with you a little bit about our Manufacturing Month here and what we did with our students. Miller Fabrication Solutions did a phenomenal job with Manufacturing 2020. They allowed our students to join a virtual tour of all three plants that they have in Brookville, Millville, and locally here in Homer City. Mm-hmm. They spread out about 5 different days throughout the month. We logged in to a virtual meeting with them, and they showed us the history of their plants, what they do on a daily basis, and they also showed us, it was called Meet an Expert. So our students got to see what these men and women do when they walk in and put the hard hats on and the boots hit the floor every day. So with this COVID, we couldn't do field trips, but this is a phenomenal way to celebrate Manufacturing Month and get our kids in the doors to see what a career in manufacturing really looks like.
Yeah, and so the obvious question then becomes, how did the kids react to it? I'm sure that they were thrilled by it. I know they would rather have been there, but this is next best thing.
Next best thing, all attentive, eyes on the screen. Miller did a great job with interactive questions and vocabulary they got to take notes with. We conversed at the end of the meetings and asked questions back to the experts. A real eye-opener for these guys to see where their next step could possibly be.
Now, when we think about machining, maybe there isn't a great general knowledge of what machining really is. And if it's that way in the general population, I would assume it's that way among the school population. Tell me about recruiting students for machining and giving them an idea of what it's all about.
Yeah, so the best way to show what we do with machining is, hands-on in the door, see what it looks like, what the machines look like. Manufacturing is around us no matter what we do in this world, from vehicles to clothing to video games. Everything started on a machine somewhere. So these guys have to learn that without men and women in the manufacturing sector of welding and machining, there's no products out there. The military aspect of things, it's all around us. So once they get an idea of where all these products come from and how they're made, their sense of, I want to become some type of an engineer or manufacturing sector, either welding or machining, it's eye-opening to them. So,
yeah. After the virtual tour with Miller, I'm sure the students could say all of a sudden, oh, I know now why we do this here at ICTC. There's the direct application of it. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
Absolutely. I'll let Lou fill in a little bit about how it affected the welding guys and some news he has.
Very good. Luke, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. So welding, put it all together for me. That's a little joke there.
Okay. So welding, basically, we take two pieces of metal and we mend them into one, or several pieces, in that matter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But our program has had leaps and bounds. These are challenging times. We weren't sure this year if we'd be able to go through the whole year. So my students were able to get AWS D1.1 certified about 5 months earlier than what they would have. And there were 13 seniors that took the test, and 13 seniors are certified now.
That's amazing.
It's great.
Welding is a great big field. There are different types of welding. Do they get that entire scope at ICTC?
Absolutely, they do. They do all the processes, which is GMAW, SMAW. All these acronyms talking to you right now, you're probably like, well, I have no idea what that is, but the students do. But they get every process.
Yeah, that's terrific stuff. So they get the well-rounded welding career there. And it's a very creative aspect of the arts, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Okay.
Todd, I just want to add, between welding and machining this year, we have about 95 students that are being trained to go out there. And when you're in the classroom face-to-face 5 days a week, we're training the next generation to come out of this pandemic and be ready to keep America building and moving forward.
How does that number compare to previous years?
We are increasing leaps and bounds every year. We're ready to bust down the walls and build bigger.
Yes, we actually have waiting lists for the classes to get in. We wish that we could have every student come in. Unfortunately, we're just,
limited.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll get the masonry program involved in that.
There you go.
As they start busting down walls, if you're going to be doing that. But it really does point out that there are really good, not just jobs, but good careers available in both machining and welding.
Correct.
Terrific.
And locally too. We're in a 60-mile radius. There are jobs that need filled every day, and phone calls that keep rolling in. So.
Yeah, and as I sit here with these two instructors, Todd, I'm sitting here thinking, Lou has experienced for a few years a waiting list each year because he's had more students interested than he has seats or booths available in the welding area. Mm-hmm. But it's been exciting to see what's happening in machining because in the last 2 years, we've moved from a stable but could grow program to now Mr. Rescenete. Last year and this year both, he had waiting lists for at least one of his sessions, and he is at capacity as well. So it is an exciting time. Both gentlemen, too, also have males as well as females. I know that there's, that stigma out there that maybe only a young man could go into the manufacturing area, but it's an exciting time to see females stepping up to that challenge as well and taking on these programs. As you know, because we had her on the radio, we had our first ever female finish the machining program last year, and we continue to enroll both the male and the female population in our manufacturing programs.
Well, you know it from an overall scope at ICTC, and both of the gentlemen with you this morning know it as well. ICTC students, because they have identified probably early, and maybe even earlier than students in other programs, they've identified where they want to go for a career. They're pretty passionate about getting it done, aren't they?
They are, and we've seen that through COVID. I mean, that's a positive. We're one of the schools, maybe the only school in the county right now that's operating Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. And our structure itself lends itself to the COVID guidelines because we're a half day with each one of our populations, our AM students and our PM. And through that, we know that our students want to be here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. They want to be here every day. And so we're here. We're glad we can be here, and they're coming. And they're continuing. And as Mr. Toth said, we tried to change things up because we weren't sure how long we could stay in this schedule. So he and some others bumped those certifications up early. They held their breath because we've never tested that early before, and we thought, we don't want to shortchange the students the opportunity of their certifications. But boy, we'd rather test them than not test them if we have to go to a closure or something like that. So we took the gamble, and that's why, we are very proud this morning to say that 100% of our welders are now certified AWS because we took that chance, and that proves that they were skilled up, ready to go, because even with early testing, we ended up with very good results.
Yeah, well, it's terrific, and it's really an indication of how seriously not only students take their education from ICTC, but how seriously ICTC takes the idea of learning for these kids and getting them trained and ready to go, because, whereas other academic pursuits might actually put students into a four-year university, and certainly many of the courses there at ICTC do, there are still many careers that can be started right as soon as you graduate from ICTC, and even before in some cases.
That's right. Through our cooperative education program, we try to get those that are ready started early, and that gets them connected with a real business and industry representative doing a real job on a real work schedule. And for qualified seniors, that is available.
Well, it's terrific stuff, and folks continue to do wonderful things at ICTC. Do you have a recruiting event or anything of that nature coming up anytime soon?
Well, we are in the background here talking about what will we do this year to orient ninth grade students to our programs as we do every year. So just as we're doing with our students, not much has changed. We're adding an extra step. We're putting the mask on, walking into the classroom every day and getting it done. We're trying to take that same philosophy and put it towards our recruitment or our orientation with new students. And we're not making any big decisions too soon, but we're laying out enough options on the table that will allow us, hopefully, to show them as realistically as possible what we offer here for them. So time is our friend in this situation, and we have to be patient, and we'll be meeting again this afternoon internally to talk about some of those plans, and we're excited for the opportunity to change things up a little bit because, it gives us a chance to step back and say, what do students need? What do we need to show them about what we do to allow them to see how it can benefit them, and that's what we're talking about.
There you go. ICTC getting it done. Thanks all for being on with us this morning.
Thanks, Todd.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay.
You too.
Okay.